Hey guys, it's Shelbi, otherwise known as Shelbizleee here on YouTube, and today we're going to talk about how to reduce your cat's carbon paw print. Some people have been asking me to make videos about how to be more eco-friendly with their pets, and to be honest, I only really know how to talk about how to be more eco-friendly with a cat. And I also have a subscriber who made a video about her pet lizard. She's super new to YouTube, but she's been subscribed to me for a while, and I didn't have an answer to her question about how to take care of her pet, so she went and figured out the answers for herself, and she made a video about it, so I'll leave that in the description box in case any of you guys are caring for a reptile as well. But this video is going to focus mainly on a cat, like I said, because that's what I have, Mr. Tippy. You guys know him. So the three main things that we want to talk about when we're talking about how to be eco-friendly or zero waste with a cat is going to be food, litter, and toys, right? I think there's not a lot to a cat other than those three things. And the first thing I want to talk about is the thing that I really don't have an answer for, unfortunately, and that's going to be food. So as you guys know, being vegan is a more environmentally friendly diet. I've mentioned that a few times on here, and I think a lot of people know about it already. There are tons of vegans who make videos on this. There are documentaries about it. I don't really dedicate an entire video to it or multiple videos to it because I think a lot of people out there already know, and I guess, yeah, it would be good to voice my opinion in a video, but I don't think many people who are new to that information are going to click on a video about the environmental impacts of meat. That's honestly how I feel about it, and so I try to sprinkle it into other videos that I make. Basically, that's the approach I've chosen to take with it. So we know being vegan is a more environmentally friendly diet, but there are certain meats that are worse than others, and cats are not meant to be vegan. I will link resources about that below. I don't care how many people tell me that there are certain people who have fed their cats vegan diets and they're okay, or if there's one or two outlier investigations showing that cats can eat vegan. I'm not willing to risk my cat's health. I care about him too much to risk that on him. He doesn't go outside and try to eat, berries and things like that. He goes outside and he catches lizards and stuff like that. Cats were meant to eat meat, and I am not, I'm just not doing that. I'm not going to do that. Obviously, being vegan has been proven to be really good for humans, not so much for cats, so yeah, not messing with that. However, something you can take into consideration when you're buying their food is what type of meat is going into their food, right? So if you're buying wet food and dry food as well, it'll tell you on the outside of the package what type of meat went into making that food. So a lot of times salmon, turkey, chicken, and the only thing I would tell you guys to avoid as far as ingredients go is beef. Beef is the worst, most environmentally harmful protein animal that you can eat, and so I would say cats can get enough protein from the other sources, and that's going to be a much better option than purchasing something that is made with beef or pork. Also would be best to avoid pork, I guess. Another thing which I know not everybody has access to, and it's very unfortunate because if I knew everyone had access to this is what I would recommend, but find a local food store that has cat food that they sell or make. I personally have been buying Tippy's food from a local grocery store. As you guys know, I talked about it in one of my recent videos, my first zero waste grocery shopping haul. So it's made with local ingredients, and I'm able to buy it in bulk, so I don't have to have any packaging. And if you guys have that option, obviously that's going to be better if it's locally made and you can get it in bulk with no packaging. That's the best way to go, but I know not everyone has access to that. And so if we're talking about just things that are in store, like I said, avoid the red meats, pork and beef, and aside from that, you can get it in a recyclable container, recyclable packaging. A lot of cat foods don't come in recyclable packaging, and just learning how to be conscious of that and make sure you're buying the ones that are is going to be a huge difference just in that. If you can buy the cat's food in cardboard packaging and it's not covered in plastic and stuff like that, that's going to be better than buying it in plastic. Those are some really easy swaps that anyone can make probably at any grocery store. I'm going to leave a link below showing the different types of labels that you can look out for, showing if things are GMO free, organic, showing if they have recyclable packaging and stuff like that. So yeah, check out those resources. That's going to be what's most helpful, I think. Last but not least, you could choose to make your own food for your cat if you think that is cost effective for you and if you think that that's a good option. It's really going to depend on where you live, but the things I think you need to think about are what's in the food, can we avoid certain ingredients that are less environmentally harmful, what's the packaging, is it biodegradable or recyclable, preferably is it cardboard, and then third thing is going to be where does the food come from. So So if it's from a local farmer, maybe they have cat food that they sell at your farmer's market, or maybe there's a local grocery store that sells it and it's coming from the same state you live in. Whatever it may be, just look at your options. Those are the things I think you need to consider. I can't tell you buy this cat food because it's going to be different everywhere you live. There could be more environmentally friendly options than the ones I could recommend, so I would check out things at your local level. But of course, I can link a couple different types of food that you can buy. Again, I personally buy mine at a local store in bulk, so most of you guys aren't going to be able to get that. Alright, next is litter, and I think this is probably the most controversial or problem causing thing when it comes to owning a cat. I did a research paper when I was in college about the effects of cat poop on marine life, and some people were just scooping their cat poop and flushing it down the toilet. Not only if you're using conventional clay cat litter is that going to be a problem with clogging the septic systems, but if that ends up in the ocean, which a lot of times it does, can cause a lot of issues for marine life. Specifically, I did my research paper on otters, and one of the naturally occurring, I think it's bacteria that lives within your cat's poop, ends up in the ocean, and if that gets into the water that the otters are living in, if it gets into any of the food that they eat, which is becoming a real problem, it swells the lining of their brain and it kills them. So that's just one particular issue I know about. So I wouldn't say just to flush your cat's poop. That is not going to be an answer for being environmentally friendly, as I just explained. However, neither is holding on to your plastic bag so that you can scoop your cat's poop. That is the biggest fight I ever had with my sister when I lived with her, is I tried to get her to switch to reusable bags and she would fight me on it so hard because she said, Shelby, it's not that bad because I'm reusing them to scoop my cat's poop. And I said, Brittany, that doesn't change the fact that you're throwing away plastic. Personally, when it comes to scooping the poop, if that's what you guys are wondering about, I just take the trash can to Tippy's litter box every time I need to empty it, put it in the trash bag that needs to be taken out anyway, and then I take it out that way. Apparently there are liners for cat litter boxes where people just pull them out, but like tie them up and throw that away. That's really wasteful because it's obviously made of plastic, but I think I saw some compostable and biodegradable options, so I can link that below. Always check out the links, guys, because I find things and that's kind of how I'm able to like connect you guys directly to the research that I did. But if you can't avoid doing that because maybe you scoop your cat's poop more often than you take your trash out, then I would say try to get yourself one of the biodegradable poop bags. You know, they make them for dogs as well. You can get compostable biodegradable bags to scoop the poop up into and put into that bag. That way you're not throwing away plastic all the time. It's going to be a lot better for the environment because it can break down naturally. So yeah, please stop excusing your use of plastic bags because you use them twice. That doesn't change how environmentally harmful they are. Alright, now next thing I'm sure you guys are wondering is, okay, so don't flush your poop, get something better to scoop it up into, but Shelby, what are the cats going to poop into, right? So there are a few different options. Personally, the one I have been using is made of walnut shells, and I can link that below for you guys to go check out because I can't buy it in store, but all the ones in stores are made from clay. They all have clay in them, and that's really not going to be good for the environment or for your cat. More and more resources are coming out saying that your cat pooping in those sort of things is really bad. If it gets into their digestive system, it can really mess up their internal organs as well as their respiratory system. The dust that comes along with those sort of things is not good for your cat. So I've been buying my cat litter online for a while, and that's what you guys can choose to do as well. I'll link a bunch of different ones below. There are also some that are made of newspaper, and there are some that are made of like wood chips and stuff like that. Those are going to be the much more sustainable options than the clay-based ones, and they're also going to be more healthy for your cat. I forgot to grab it before I sat down, but I have these little charcoal bags that can absorb odor, and that's what I use for my compost bin. There's just a charcoal little disc on top that absorbs all of the smells so it doesn't smell at my house. And I also use a bag with the same thing in the room where Tippy's cat litter box is. I mentioned it before that like his litter box is in close proximity to my clothing, and people were like, oh my god, doesn't your clothes stink? Like, no, if they did, I wouldn't be doing it. Not only is the cat litter I use pretty good at keeping odors locked in, but I have a couple of those in my room, so you can grab you some of those and they last for a really long time. I also keep them in my bathroom so they don't have to use air freshener because that stuff is horrible for the environment and also for your brain. It's been linked to Alzheimer's. Please don't use those. Random plug here, but yeah, get you some of these charcoal things. I think a lot of people don't know about them, but I love them so much, and yeah, I'll link those below for your bathroom or for cat litter or whatever it is that you need to eliminate odors and you don't want it to be environmentally harmful or harmful to yourself. All of the cat litters I talked about will be linked below. I find that you can't really get these options in store, and that's just the reality of it. Again, with this, you can try to make your own out of newspaper, and you can also try to make your own out of wood chips. And last thing I found on the internet, which I will link below, is you can actually try to use biodegradable forms of cat litter like the newspaper or the wood chips, and then you can compost your cat's poop. Now that seems a little crazy to me, a little extreme, and I would not do that because I don't live on my own land. You guys know this. I feel like if it's not done properly, it could you know, injure the soil or injure animals that live around here or attract animals that live around here and stuff like that. So I haven't been doing it. I mean, maybe I could try. There are so many things I could try to experiment with on this channel, and if I had my own land, of course I would do that. If I had a plot at my community garden, I would do that as well, just to show you guys, but I don't have that. And I've brought up the term of gardening here at my land before. I asked my landlord's wife, I mean, she's also my landlord, but most of the things that are like official are handled by him, and she basically said that I would need to ask him, and she sounded pretty hesitant about it. But of course I can try to ask again if this is something that you guys are really interested in. I can try a lot of different things, like a whole compost, a whole garden for myself, a cat poop compost, a worm bin, and all those sort of things. I just don't know how down for it he would be. He's a very quiet man, so I don't know how well that conversation would go, but I'm willing to have it if enough of you guys are interested. If you think it would be a good series, yeah, you can let me know. Last but not least, eco-friendly cat toys. So the thing I use to entertain Tippy the most is I let him outside. He loves to go outside and play in the yard. He chases lizards, like I said, often brings them into the house to show me. He also plays with the grass and butterflies and stuff like that, and he loves that more than anything. He also acts like he's big and bad to our neighbor's dog that lives across the fence. He like tries to puff up to him and like get at him, but he can never do that because yeah, he lives across the fence. If you can't just let your cat outside, you can always get them a leash and try to leash train them. It's been a challenge for Tippy, but I don't really have to do it because like I said, I can just let him out in the backyard, but that is an option. And aside from that, I would say just to makeshift your own toys. Honestly, cats go through toys pretty quickly and they can break them down really fast. Tippy really likes to scratch on things, so he has a few cardboard scratchers. He has the one that we found dumpster diving, or his Aunt Julie found dumpster diving, and he also has this new bed. He likes his bed a lot more in the summer because I think air can get through the cardboard to him, so he'll actually use it. And it's also a scratching post, so he scratches on it as well. I can link that below for you guys if you want a scratching like pad thing and a bed all in one. I think it was a great choice because it's obviously biodegradable because it's made of cardboard and wood. It doesn't have anything else. I've makeshifted some like string pole things out of just some random string laying around and a hiking pole that we have. He loves to play with that. But if you're going to buy cat toys, the only thing I would say is just avoid plastic as much as possible. Don't buy plastic because not only is it not biodegradable, but a lot of the plastics they use in toys like that isn't even recyclable. So it would be best altogether to just avoid plastic. And there are some on Amazon that I found, and you could probably find them in your regular store too, but I'll link them below, that are made of like different things like canvas material, twine, and just biodegradable materials that are going to be much better for the environment than buying plastic toys. But those are going to be the basics for how to be more eco-friendly with your cat. If you guys have other suggestions, I would love to hear them. Leave them in the comment section below. I really appreciate that you guys do that, and each of you guys are able to communicate with the community that we've built here on this channel and learn things from them. And some people ask questions that I don't see, and then other people answer them, and I think that that is awesome, and I really encourage you guys to continue doing that. Share this video with anyone who has a cat that you think needs to be making better choices, of course. And remember, until next time, create the peace. Oh, he got it. This is what I mean by they tear things up too quickly. He still wants to play with